All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get started today. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay and you can see my screen okay. Hey, Stella, can you unmute? Let me know if you can hear and see me okay.
Yep, I can hear and see you.
All right, perfect. All right, well, I want to welcome everybody to this presentation from Obsidian Financial Services. Normally, these are done by our president, Raymond Moats, but Ray is out, so I am filling in for him today. My name is Andre Nieuwendaam, and I'm actually the Senior Vice President of Operations at Obsidian. Just a little bit of background. I have been in the financial services arena for about 32 years, and I started with Obsidian in 2017. I came on as a business consultant, and then I decided to stay on. So now I serve as the Senior Vice President of Operations. So if you decide to join us after this presentation, you'll hear from me quite a bit. Generally, I handle all of our marketing. Any problems that you might have, you can escalate to me, and always consider me a resource for any questions or anything that you might have about the company. So a couple of the topics that we're going to talk about today is, first of all, who we are, who Obsidian is, why you might want to think about joining us. We want to talk about working with us, the different channels that we make available to you in terms of originating your loans. We want to talk about how we compensate you guys, which I think is probably one of the most exciting things in our presentation, and then tell you next steps. So, at the end of the presentation, if you do decide that you want to come on board and be a member of our team, we'll be more than glad to walk you through that process and get you in touch with a recruiter. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and put those in the chat. We'll have a Q&A, and I'll respond at the end of the presentation. So any questions about anything that we cover here as we're going through this, just go ahead and throw those up in the chat, and we'll catch those at the end. All right, first of all, let me tell you who we are. Our company is Obsidian Financial Services, Inc. We were started back in 2016. We are a fully delegated, full Eagle lender, which means that we are able to originate FHA loans from start to finish. Obsidian is currently one of the fastest growing lenders in the country. When I came on board, we had about 27 loan officers. We are heading north of 300 loan officers now. We are licensed in 32 states. We've got another 10 states in the hopper that should be on board by the end of this year. We're currently headquartered in Melbourne, Florida, and we really want to grow our workforce in 2022. So those are some of the things about Obsidian that you might want to know. So what's working with us like? We have the ability to process, underwrite, and close mortgage loans in our name. So we are a true lender, not a broker. We originated and closed over 500 million last year. We're probably going to top that this year. And we can broker to over 100 lenders who partner with us with Obsidian via a proprietary agreement, which we'll discuss here at length as well. So what does that mean for you? That means you have a lot of options. You're not just stuck in being a broker, or if you work for a direct lender and you're stuck in those types of programs. Because we have hundreds of investors working with us, you have a lot of different options and a lot of different ways to go ahead and earn money. So questions you should ask anybody when you're considering going to work for any particular lender or broker. First of all, you want to know how quickly can we get your loans underwritten. So again, we do loans from A to Z, all the way from application to funding. So generally, we can get a loan done in as little as 10 days. We've had loans that have gone through that process. We've had some loans that were clear to close in as little as 5 days. So we can really work hard to get your loans closed for you. That's not an option that you get with when you're working at a broker. Obviously, you're at the mercy of whoever that lender is. But because we are doing all of those processes internally, and we're the ones that are lending and funding the loans, we can get that done a lot quicker for you. So again, that covers the question, how quickly can you get your loans closed? And the other thing is, how quickly can you price and lock a loan and maximize your income? So one of the great things that you're going to find out about Obsidian is that we do not have a comp plan. You are not locked into a comp plan with us. We like to call ourselves the lender of what you see is what you get. So basically, when you go and price, and I'll show you this here in this presentation, whatever it is that you're going to make on that loan, you're going to know up front, and you're going to know that there's no fees or anything else coming out of that money. That's going to be your money, what you earned. And when you get that check, what you saw you were going to get is what you're going to get. So with Obsidian, you also have 3 channels to originate your loans. So we have delegated, we have proprietary, and wholesale. So you're going to have a lot of different options and a lot of different programs where some people are locked into specific programs and they can't lend because of a certain credit score or things like that. We have the ability to go into any channel that you need to go into to go ahead and close that deal. So I think that's one of the best things that the business model, the Obsidian business model brings to the loan originator or the loan officer, branch manager, is that ability to be flexible and have the confidence in saying, hey, you know what, if I get this scenario, it's really not going to matter because one way or another, I'm going to be able to figure out a way to make that deal work. So also working with Obsidian, we ensure that milestones are met with fast turn times and maximum efficiency. So again, you're working with an internal team. Our processors and underwriters have been with us for 25 years. You know, the company is, you know, like I said, it was started in 2016, but we had other iterations of the company. Our processing team that we have, they know the way that we do business. So we do loans the Obsidian way, which is what we like to say, but everybody knows what everybody's doing. So, you know, questions that you would normally have to go out as a broker to a lender or an AE out there, you're going to be able to get those problems resolved in-house. All right, so if you're going to use our delegated channel, what that means, what that gives you the ability to do is underwrite loans in our name. So basically everything that goes out, disclosures and stuff, that's all going to be in Obsidian's name. Obsidian is going to close the loan for you. We're going to price the loans in-house. So in most cases with better pricing than going non-delegated or brokering. And again, like I said, it's what you see is what you get. You name the price. We never have a compensation plan unless you broker, which is, you know, the case. I mean, mostly all broker plans are pretty much the same across the board. We're no different in that respect. But again, you know, we are a lender. So the option is always going to be, you know, you're going to try to want to go delegated or proprietary first. And then if no other options exist, then you broker, but you're still going to make good money on brokering. So our proprietary channel allows you to work as both a broker and a lender simultaneously. So the underwriting is actually done by the lender of your choice. We process, we do all of that, but we send that out to them to underwrite. The closing is done by the lender of your choice. So they actually do the closing, and you can actually price with the lender of your choice. But you get to lock, track, and handle all the pricing with that lender. There's no compensation plan working in the proprietary channel. So again, it's what you see is what you get. And it's a huge upside as opposed to working on the broker channel where, you know, you're locked into, you know, making a certain compensation based on, you know, whatever rate it is that you quote. And if you have to, again, you can go broker. You know, they underwrite the loan, close the loan in their name, price the loan, but it's your responsibility to lock and you know, lock the loan and make sure the loan does not expire and track where the loan progress is at all times. You know, the broker channel is not, you know, We have a lot of lenders there. We have a lot of options available there, but you're also going to find that we have a lot of options on the proprietary channel that normally as a broker, you'd have to go out and broker. But with us, you can do a lot of those internally, again, you know, on our non-delegated side, and still make the same kind of money that you would have made if you went delegated. So working with us is going to give you the options you need to compete, along with the options to make what you want. So with Obsidian, we do not dictate compensation. You dictate that. You know, again, you have to get into that mindset that we're a lender. So when you're going out there and you're pricing a loan, you're not going to be sitting there thinking, oh, you know, this is 2.75. You know, this is what I'm going to make. The company's going to take, you know, all of these fees and everything else. And by the time all of that's said and done, maybe I made a point on a deal or whatever. That's not how it works on the card with the correspondent lender. And I'm going to show you that here in a couple of minutes. So let's talk about compensation by the different channels that we have. We have the delegated, proprietary, and broker channels. So when we're talking delegated, it's the best pricing with no compensation plan, right? So there's no compensation plan. So what you see is what you're going to get. The pricing is done through our lock desk. So our lock desk actually locks the loan for you with the investor. And whatever's listed is what you're going to make on the deal. So if it's at 103.5, that means you're going to make 3.5%. 101.25 is 1.25. There's no fees or anything else coming out of that. So whatever you see that's over the par pricing is what you're going to make on that particular deal. With delegated loans, the borrower does not see the back end compensation. So you also have the ability to charge the borrower on the front and make compensation as on the back as well. That's the unique thing between a correspondent lender and a broker. You know, when you're brokering, you've got to disclose what you're making. With delegated, some of that's going to be on the back, some of it's going to be on the front, but they're never going to know what you actually made on the back. Our recruiters obviously can go over that in more detail with you. I'll show you a quick pricing scenario here of how that works in Optimal Blue. So everybody that comes on with us is going to have their own Optimal Blue login. But when you actually come in Optimal Blue and you price a loan with us, let's say we're doing $190,000 on a, let's say, $200,000 property here. And let's say that we're going delegated. So we're going to choose delegated as our option here. We'll say this person has a good FICO. DTI below the 43%. All right, we're going to say this is, since I'm in Florida, I'm going to go Florida. And I'm going to go the first county I pick here. It's primary residence, conforming, 30-year fixed. I'm going to go ahead and leave the pricing, the rate, and everything out because I want you guys to be able to see, you know, what the pricing comes back as and how many different options you're going to have available on that. So when I submit that, that's going to give me my listing of all of my pricing based on the 30-day lock here. And as you can see, I've got like a lot of options here. You know, I've got Rushmore, Mr. Cooper, New Res, all of these different companies that I can do this loan with. I can see the median rate, I can see what the lock price is, the P&I, and I can see the price, right? So here on this Rushmore, for example, I'm at 100.520 on a 5.25 rate. So that means I'm making about a half a point here because again, everything over par is what you're going to make, right? But this 0.520 is not disclosed to the borrower. So here on the back end, I've already made a half a point. Now, if I go in and I expand this program, I get to see all of the rates. You know, so if I'm locking this, you know, if say, for example, I go to my borrower and I'm saying, hey, you know, I can get your rate of 5.5. On the 30-day lock, I'm already at 1.3 on the back, right? Which means if I want to go and charge another, let's say, 1.5 or 2 on the front, he's only going to see that I'm charging that. He's not going to see that I've already made money here, that I've already made a point and a thread in the back. So here I'm almost making, 3% on this deal while I'm only having to disclose what I made on the front to the borrower. Conversely, if I'm happy and I want to, just make the money on the back and not disclose any fees on there, I can go, at 5.75 on this deal. I'm going to make 2.154 on the points on this, and there's no fees coming out of that. So all of that money is coming to me. So, you do the math and, you take that 2% out of that total loan amount, and that's what you're going to be getting. That's what's coming in on your check. You're not having to go through and tell the borrower, hey, I made that 2.154 on the back. That is the pricing of that rate. So it is included in there. Once we hit the 100% mark on pricing, everything above that 100% is what you are going to make on the deal. So, if I was going to go and I was going to price the same thing wholesale through Loan Sifter, right? And we're going with 200,000, right? Base loan amount of 190,000. Borrower paid, right? We can put the DTI at 38 here. Right, and let's say we're doing Florida. We'll do the same scenario. And we'll do Alachua County here. And I have the option here of obviously going borrower paid or fees in. On the broker channel, we're capped at 2.75 on the comp. So 2.75 max is what you'd make on that deal. So we had this at the 780. And let's submit that price. So if you're looking at that on the pricing here, at the 5.8, I'm at 0.060, right? And then at the 2.75, I'm making $5,225. So if you look at that based against what you'd make on the delegated, where you can name your own price here, and you're already at the 2.154 on this deal, and you haven't even added anything on the front end of that, you have the ability to sit here and choose what it is that you want to make on that particular deal if you're going on the correspondent. And you could do the same thing if you were pricing this loan. If I did a revised search and I needed to go on a non-delegated, let's say this is a non-delegated, and let's do expanded here. And let's say that this is a DSCR, and we'll change this to investment. And let's change this to, let's make this one. I think that's gonna work. Actually, we need to go lower than that. Let's make this one. All right. So see, I have all of these options here as well. And, obviously everything here is underwater. So, I'd have to, make this up in points and fees or whatever. But let's say if I went to this Homebridge one, I can come here and as far as discount points, I'm probably gonna, have to charge a discount point, but I still have the ability to charge all of that on the front and still make the money that I want to make on this deal. Now if I can get the pricing, to where, I adjust the scenario and get this up over 100, then again, I'm in that same circumstance, even on the non-delegated side, where I can basically make a little bit of money on the back and then make some money on the front as well. Whereas I wouldn't be able to do that, if I was doing a broker deal. Now I'm not going to say that every single deal is going to work that way, but the vast majority of your, average vanilla type of loans, you're going to see that where you'll have that ability to make a bunch of money on it. And again, if you're in a scenario where you're running a DSCR or whatever, and it's not coming out really well on the non-delegated side, you always know that you can go to the broker side with us and at minimum make that 2.75 on there. So that's what we're saying when we tell you guys that you have options. There's a lot of different ways that you can go in here and make that money and probably make a lot more, because again, you're dictating what you want to make on the deal. You're dictating how much you want to charge. You're dictating how much you want to disclose to the borrower that you're making on the deal. Again, options, a lot of options there. So again, our proprietary lending, just like I showed you, the pricing there is generally not the best. But again, there's no compensation plan. So the non-delegated DSCR scenario we ran, obviously it's a little bit underwater, but you could still make 2.5 points on that deal, and still be within the threshold. You still get the option to choose any lender you want to disclose, underwrite, price, and close it. You can charge borrower front and back end compensation as a lender, which you can't do as a broker. Borrower is not aware and compensation is not disclosed. So that's the big difference right there. They are not going to see what you are going to make unless you put it on the front and disclose that to them. And obviously, again, you're in charge of locking and maintaining the lock with the investor. So I think everybody understands that, you're going to lock for whatever period of time you think it's going to take to close with that particular lender. If we're doing it in-house, we'll give you guidance on that. So your AE is going to work with you and let you know, based on this scenario, I would lock for 30 days. You can wait till you're closer, float your rate, get a clear to close, get an underwriter approval, go with a lower lock time, 15 days or whatever, make a couple extra bips in there. But you're the one that controls all of that. So it's really all the decisions on the compensation, how you want to do this loan, locking, everything are on you. We give you total control of that. And then our wholesale broker channel, again, the loan officer, you lock it with the investor, you submit the files to the investor. We actually do that for you. So we will process wholesale loans for you. So you just basically hand that over to one of our processors. They'll upload it into the portal. The only thing that you're responsible for is, your disclosures, the locking the loan, and deciding whether or not you want to go lender or borrower paid on it. Again, like I said, compensation is 2.75 max. The difference being, again, that this is a comp plan, whereas on the correspondent proprietary, you don't have any comp plan. But there's going to be some circumstances where you're going to have to broker. Now, on the broker channel, there's fees involved in that, but our fees are set fees. So you're always going to know what's coming out of that, and the fees are extremely low compared to what you would pay at other, at a broker. Honestly, the company doesn't take a lot. We don't make a lot of money on the wholesale channel, but we also understand that to be competitive, sometimes you've got to go out that way. The good thing about us is that we have a lot of product options available. Even we have some wholesalers where we can go down to a 500 credit score on a manual underwrite on FHA and VA loans, which you can't do pretty much anywhere else. So, if you have a borrower that's in that situation, you still know that you will be able to originate that loan and still make that 2.75 comp, even on those low credit scores like that. So again, because we are a correspondent lender, we have the ability to lower our broker pricing to a fixed amount. So don't let anyone fool you. All pricing for wholesale brokering is the same for every lender. No one has an advantage based on volume, size, or loan program. So our compensation is simple. As I was telling you guys, we don't charge a lot. We have a flat fee of $12.95 per file, or 25% of the compensation amount, 20%, whichever is the greater, and we have a $2.95 quality control fee. So that's it. I mean, that's all that's coming out. All the rest of that 2.75 you are going to make on those deals. Now, if you're going correspondent, right? And the options are better correspondent, and we need to work with you in order to make a deal work. So we've got to work on our margins so that that deal can stay in the correspondent or the proprietary channel. We will do that. You can go to your AE and say, look, I got this deal. I was thinking about brokering this, but if I can, knock off, 25 bips on this, I'm going to close this deal. It's, obviously the company's going to look at it from the perspective of, is there a benefit in there for Obsidian? Is it a benefit to you? And if it is, we'll work with you on that. That's the one good thing about working for a lender, is you are not stuck in that comp plan. So if we have to adjust our margins to make a deal work for you, we are willing to adjust our margins, as long as the deal is worthwhile. Like I like to say, a slice of pie is better than no pie at all. So if we have to make a deal work, we will do that, which is another flexibility. As a broker, you can't go to a broker and say, hey, this lender's, hitting me for this and this and this, are you going to lower your margins? More than likely, that's not going to ever happen for you. Our products. So we offer a lot. As you can see here on this slide, we have all of these different programs that we can do within Obsidian, right? And if you have programs that aren't listed here, all you have to do is come to us. You come to me, you say, hey, Andre, is it possible we can sign up for this DPA? Or I've got a lot of people in my area that are doing these types of loans. I have an investor. Can we go ahead and sign up with this person? You just come to me and let me know. And if it's doable, we will most definitely put in the application and get that done for you. But as you can see, we cover pretty much a lot of these things. We have manufactured homes, we have land lot loans, we have doctor loans, reverse mortgages, HELOCs, foreign national. Every single one of those programs we have available to you on one of those channels, So again, like I said, we are a full Eagle, so we can do FHAs in-house. We have a VA underwriter, FHA underwriter. We have two different underwriting and processing teams, so you're never going to be stuck in a bottleneck on underwriting and processing internally. We have Rush. So if you have a rush on a particular file, we have 3 different AMCs that we work with for appraisals, so that we can always, find out who's going to get that appraisal done as quickly as possible. And we have a lot of training, so we train a lot. So you guys will always know. We also bring on our investors to do training, so that, if they've got new programs that are available that we feel are going to be good marketing programs, we're going to make those available to you as well. If you want to start a branch, okay, let's say, for example, you're working somewhere, you got a bunch of people there that you're like, hey, Obsidian sounds like a really good opportunity for me, but I want to really make some money. I want to magnify or multiply what I'm making by 10 people. You can do that with us. So our branch compensation is basically set by the branch manager. So if you decide, hey, I want to come on as a branch and I'm going to bring 5 people under me, we are going to set up your pricing based on the way that you want to set it up. So if you want to charge a point override on all of your people, you can do that. If you want to charge 75 bips, you can do that. If you want to break it down by experienced or inexperienced loan officers and give them a specific login, you can do that. And you can always make that override available to the branch. Can you hire your own processor? Yes, you can bring in your own processor if you're a branch. The only thing that we ask is if you bring in your own processor, make sure that that processor knows correspondent loans. The last thing we want to do is choke up our underwriters with a bunch of inexperienced processors. So we just want to make sure that they're experienced, that they know how correspondent lending works. What about underwriting? Generally, we don't bring in other underwriters. We have 3 very capable underwriters, each with over 25 years of experience. 2 of them are DE underwriters. We have 1 that's just a standard underwriter. And we have a VA underwriter as well. So we generally don't recommend it, but if it's a deal breaker and you're going to bring in a lot of people, a lot of volume, it's something we would most definitely consider. How do I bring on loan officers? If you know people, we have a couple of different options there. We have a referral program, which also pays you for bringing on loan officers, or we can recruit for you. If we recruit for you, there is a 10 to 15 bips override on every loan officer that we bring in under your branch that we're recruiting. So again, if you're having us recruit for you, the recruiter gets paid on that. But again, you can build that into your margin to cover it. So in other words, if you were planning on charging a point, charge 85 bips or something. Can I use a DBA or trade name? Yes, you can. You can definitely do that. The only thing is that everything has to be, you cannot use it as far as disclosing. Everything has to be in Obsidian's name. So in other words, all of our disclosures, all of your branding and everything else has to be in Obsidian's name, but you could have, Joe's Loans powered by Obsidian Financial Services on your website, however you want to do that. How do I handle payroll? We set you up with a payroll account. We deposit all of the money from your loans into that account. You handle your own payouts. So if you have employees of the branch or loan officers under your branch and processors and everything, we dump that money to you and you go ahead and you can pay them out. Hire your own payroll company if you want, or we can recommend our payroll company. Are there production minimums? We'd like to say that we would like to see you producing at least 1 loan within the first 60 days. Referrals are our life's blood, obviously, every loan company. So if you're inexperienced, if you really haven't done a lot of loans, the one thing we know is everybody's capable of going out and getting referrals, right? You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So we'd like to see you productive in 60 days. Are we going to throw you out the door after 60 days because you didn't produce a loan? No. We understand that, people have full-time jobs. You may not be doing this full-time. You may be, working your way towards full-time at some point or another, but we also understand everybody's got to start somewhere. We'd like to see you be productive. Your AE is going to help you in that respect, but again, we don't really have any production minimums for you. What are Obsidian's requirements? The only requirements that we have for the branch are going to be based on whatever the state requirement is. So if it says you have to have a commercial address or commercial location in the state, you're going to have to do that. We do not pay your branch fees for you. So whatever the state sponsored cost of a branch is, you have to pay that along with your own sponsorship fees. We did that in the past, and we've had people that we've sponsored, paid all their fees, and then within 30 days, they decided, hey, I'm going to go work somewhere else. So, yeah, so that's what, if you want to start a branch, we definitely do send out branch contracts to people that are interested in that. We hope that you're experienced enough that if you do start a branch, you'll be successful at it. Not just want to put branch manager in your signature. To say I manage a branch, but it's really in the basement of my, my home, and I don't have anybody working for me, but my dog processes for me or something, no. We also have something unique to Obsidian that's called a transition desk. So our transition desk allows you to work as a loan assistant on any state that we are licensed in. So the way that works is if you have a deal, if you're licensed in Florida, for example, and you have a deal in South Carolina, and you don't have a South Carolina license, we are going to let you work on that loan as a loan officer assistant. So you're going to have that role in our LOS. We will assign a loan officer to sponsor that loan for you. And you make the full compensation minus $595 sponsorship fee. So literally you can work in pretty much any state that we're licensed in as a loan officer assistant if you are not licensed, but you have a lead in that state. We also offer state-of-the-art technology to you guys. So we use LendingPad. I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with LendingPad. This is the LendingPad system. Let me log in here and give you a quick pass through. A lot of folks have used either Encompass or Point, for example. LendingPad is unique. It's great because it's browser based. It's built in a browser, works in any browser, it works on any mobile device. It's responsive for you non-techie people. That means that it will render itself on to look like it needs to on a cell phone, on a tablet. So wherever you're working from, if you need to take an application and stuff, you can do that right from your mobile phone just by going to the link. When you're in your pipeline, everything is integrated in LendingPad. So basically any action that you need to do, whether it's running credit, any of those different individual things that you need to do, you can do within LendingPad. You can run your AUS in LendingPad. You can send pre-approval letters from LendingPad. You can send other documents out. You can do e-signs in LendingPad. It looks like it's really a complex system, but it's so easy to use. It has its own built-in artificial intelligence. So when you get a loan app, it automatically knows, is this a lead? Is it a prospect? Is it a full application? It automatically sets milestones for you. Like I said, all the actions are built in. So when you go to the Actions tab, all you're doing is clicking on a button to pull credit. You click on a button to run your AUS. You click on a button to send a pre-approval letter. All your document uploads. You can upload documents directly into the system. And best of all, we give you a point of sale link for free. So when you want to send out an application to your borrower, it lets them set up an account with us. That account stays with them the entire time that they're with Obsidian, and they can go in there, they can upload their docs, they can fill in their applications, they can do multiple loan applications at once. All of that comes directly into LendingPad. It notifies you about any changes or milestones in the loan. You can actually price within here as well. So we do have built-in Optimal Blue. So you could come in here, do delegated, non-delegated here, and you can lock inside of LendingPad as well. The great thing about LendingPad 2 is it has a ton of integration. So if you have your favorite softwares that you use, you don't want to use our point of sale, you want to use Flowify or something like that, you have the ability to do that directly as well without having to go outside of LendingPad. You can just choose the integrator, say, hey, I use LendingPad. They set it all up for you. It's very seamless. So it's great. We use Optimal Blue for pricing. We give you Optimal Blue credentials, and all of that is included as well. So when you sign up with us, we are going to get you set up with your own Optimal Blue login. So you can go in there, you can do your own scenarios, all of that great stuff. Surefire. So Surefire is awesome. We give you that totally for free. It's normally, if you went to Surefire's website and you wanted to go ahead and buy Surefire, it would be like $150 a month with no integrations. But Surefire is a full CRM, but it is also a marketing campaign. So it sends it integrates fully in LendingPad. So it sends your borrowers notices. Like when they let's say, for example, they just get a pre-approval or they're getting ready for a clear to close. It sends them an email with a video that explains to them, congratulates them, explains what the milestones are. It's got a media library here with like tons and tons and tons of flyers. So, I mean, literally thousands of flyers are in here. So you can search on those, you can brand those yourself. You can create your own signature blocks for those. And then another one of the great tools that it has as well is that if you are working with realtors, it has the ability for you to go in and build listing websites for your realtors. So as you can see here, we've got all of these websites that were built by our loan officers for a particular realtor. And the amazing thing about this is it gives them an actual legitimate link to where they can actually go to the site. And it gives them the entire listing. You can build this in literally less than 5 minutes for them. All right. And it co-brands everything. Puts in all this information for them. And as you can see, you can schedule a showing from there. Shows you the calculated expenses on the property. Has the built-in calculator so they can go in there and adjust those payments if they want. But the other beautiful thing about it is if the property goes under contract, you're going to get notified as the loan officer. So if you're dealing with that realtor and they haven't contacted you and you go back in and you look at your listing and it's like under contract, you can be like, hey, Kathleen, I saw this property went under contract, what happened to the loan? Who's the borrower going with, or, why didn't I get notification about the loan or whatever? So these are all things that you can do within Surefire that you get absolutely free. You don't pay a dime to us for that. We give you that as part of your being a member of the team. And if you have your own lead lists and all that, you can upload those as well. Top of Mind is a part of that. That runs the automated marketing for you. And then lead sources. We don't give out free leads per se. We get leads to the website. Those do get given out to loan officers. We give them to your AE, or AEs distribute them based on what region you're in. But we do vet all of our lead sources that we do offer. And the lead sources that we offer, we negotiate pricing with them. So when you go to somebody like Lead Pops or Flowify or any of these other providers, you are going to get Obsidian pricing for those. You're not going to pay the normal pricing that you would see on the website or the retail pricing on the website. The other thing that we make available to you is what we call our intranet. Our intranet is a full website that we offer. It is the back end of our website, and it has all of our training information in there. We've got healthcare that you can sign up for. It's a la carte. It's not available in every state, unfortunately, right now, but we're working on trying to get, programs available in every state. We've got marketing resources there, but we've also got tons and tons of training. So, if you come in to our training hub, you are going to see that we have videos that cover pretty much every concept of what you need to know to work here, all the way from, self-employed income on and on and on. So just a ton, hours and hours and hours of video material there. So I got a covered landing pad for you guys. Optimal Blue, Surefire, the intranet. The other thing that we give you is we give you experienced account executives. So our average account executive has been a loan officer for anywhere from 15 years to 5 years. But they're very experienced. Every loan officer is assigned an account executive. You don't pay a dime for them. They're salaried, so they are paid for by Obsidian. They are there to serve you. They're there to help you with your loan structuring, training, and scenarios. They're there to help you produce. So they're going to work with you when you onboard with us. They're going to work on your first few loans with you, show you how to structure. They're with you the full time that you are with Obsidian. If you don't like the AE you have, you can come to us and say, hey, I'm not getting along with this guy. Can I get somebody else? We'll be glad to move you. But they are very, very experienced, and their job is to make sure that, number one, they're assisting you if you're brand new to the industry and you're really worried, but you've got some referral and you want to make sure that those loans go through. They're going to help you get structured and get those loans going so we can get you paid. Our goal is to get you making money right off the bat so you can see the value of being a member of Obsidian and how much money you're going to make with us. So what's the one thing that we've learned here? You have options. Again, having options is a must, right? When you're with a broker, you're pretty much handcuffed to one option. If you're a direct lender, same thing. You're basically having to turn away people because credit scores don't match up, or there's not a program available, or you got a bunch of lenders that don't want to do the deal. With Obsidian, you're going to find that we have an appetite for doing deals. And we're going to work hard to make sure that with the 3 channels available to you, that you're going to maximize your compensation and you're not going to lose money. So we hope you choose Obsidian as your employer. We want to, talk to you, obviously, answer any questions that you might have. You can contact one of our recruiting staff. They'll be able to walk you through a lot more detail than I have here. Obviously, I want to be cognizant of your time, and we're over the hour mark. So the next steps with us, if you do decide that you want to learn more, you want to come on board, contact one of our recruiters. I'll show you how to do that on the next slide. You schedule a one-on-one interview with them. If everything goes well on that, we will send you a contract to sign. You can tell them, hey, I'm thinking about doing a branch contract, or I want to do a loan officer contract. They'll cover those with you, cover the fee schedules and everything else. Once the contract is signed, we contact you to go ahead and request a sponsorship with the NMLS, our onboarding team, and we will schedule orientation for you. Orientation, I do the orientations. They're about 4 hours long. We train you on how to price. We train you on the loan origination system. We train you on the programs that we have available. All of those different things that you need to know to be successful from day one. We provide you with quick start guides and other things that you need so that you can start working on your loans right away. And then obviously we also do your introduction to your account executive, and then your account executive will schedule a one-on-one with you to go through, kind of learn about your experience, see if he can help you with any referral business or answer any questions about our technology and stuff, and make sure that you get going, that you're productive, and that we're helping you out in that respect. So if you are ready to take the next steps towards partnering with us, you can call us on our toll-free number and choose option 1. That's going to put you in touch with a recruiter. Or you can come to our website, go to obsidianfinancialservices.com/careers and fill out the career form there, and a recruiter will be in touch with you that way. Or you can send an email to employment@obsidianmortgage.com. Just let us know that you attended the webinar and stuff, and we will go ahead and get you in touch with a recruiter to answer any other additional questions that you have or to get you started. So at this point, I want to go ahead and open up the floor to any questions that you guys might have. If you want to go ahead and ask any questions in the chat, I'll be more than glad to answer them. Can you make loans for foreign real estate? Example, U.S. citizen buying a house in Costa Rica. We do have foreign national programs available through our wholesale channel and some of our investors. So the answer to that question is a yes. Can someone assist in real time when I need to review an app for pre-approval? Yes. We use Microsoft Teams. So you are basically able to chat with anyone within the company through our Teams program. Your AE is there all day long, usually 10 to 12 hours a day, to answer any questions that you have. So what does an average LO make monthly? So if you're doing one deal a month with us, you could be making, let's just say you'd make over 6 figures a year, just doing one deal a month. So you can live really comfortably on one deal a month. You make one to three deals a month, you're probably averaging somewhere between $25,000 to $30,000 a month. Do you have loan programs for commercial buildings? We have, I wouldn't say, we are not a commercial lender per se, so we can do like investment properties that are like 4-unit, things like that. We do have fix and flip programs and all that. So we do have some of those things. You have to get your own leads. You do have to get your own leads. We do have lead providers. Again, we offer those at a very discounted rate compared to what you would pay for them. We do provide leads through the website. So basically, if we get a lead that comes in through the website or somebody does an application and they are in your state, what we do is we give those to your AE, and then your AE actually distributes those based on, well, really based on workload per se, but also on productivity. Is this fully remote? Yes. Yes, you can work remotely. You don't have to come into an office. We do have some physical branches. We have an office building here in Tampa, which, is the office I run. You're always more than welcome if you're in Tampa or in the Tampa area to come into the building and work. I've got 10 cubicles in there, computers, phones, everything. So some of these states have physical branches, some don't, but you don't have to worry about that. This position is fully 100% commission. In the Jacksonville market, Jacksonville, Florida, we probably have about about three. 1099 or W-2, whichever is going to work out best for you. We can go either way. Mostly all of our loan officers prefer to be 1099. Some states require W-2, by the way, so it's just really dependent on that, but we can go either way with you. So if you want to go 1099, you can. How many LOs in Northern California? Oh gosh, we've got quite a few in California in general. I couldn't say how many are in Northern California. Stella, who's on here, she's Stella, where are you?
I'm in Southern California, Los Angeles County.
Yeah, so we actually have a branch up in Northern California. Yes, we do have a presence in Pittsburgh. We actually have a branch manager that is in Pittsburgh, in that area. So, and she is a physical branch. No, there's no schedule. You work your own hours. You set your own hours. The monthly reoccurring cost for us is only $75. That's it. And we don't charge you that for your first 90 days. So we're not going to ask you right off the bat, hey, you got to pay for all of that. It's actually really an administrative fee. It's not really like for the software and everything else. It's more or less a compliance fee that we have to charge. So. All good questions. Any other questions from anybody? We do not provide equipment. Technically, all you need with us is a browser. So if you have a computer that's got Chrome on it, that's really all you need from us. Our cost for a tri-merge report is $44. It's a flat fee. So whether it's a joint or whether it's a single, it's $44. Yes, we do have a lot of reverse lenders available as well. And we are in the process of setting up a reverse division as well. Probably middle of next month, I'm meeting with those folks to talk about doing that. So we're planning on doing a lot of reverse mortgages. The onboarding process is really quick. I mean, it depends on the backlog on the NMLS, but once your contract goes in, we generally request a sponsorship right away. If we can get the sponsorship done relatively quickly, we'll put you on as a loan officer assistant temporarily. And then once we get the full, that means you start working as an LOA on your deal. So we won't hold you up there. And then once we get your full sponsorship, we'll just switch you over to LO. But if you've got deals and you're, bringing deals over with you, we'll go ahead and get you going as a LOA, get a loan officer to help you work your deals, or your AE will assign somebody to help you work on those deals for you. And then as soon as we can put you on the loan, we'll put you on the loan. Yes, we do offer soft pulls. Soft pulls are only $13 with us. Abraham, if you were approving us before, it doesn't take as long to get. You have to go back through the full process again, but it's not going to take anywhere near as long to onboard you. I had somebody come back yesterday, and we got him all onboarded and up and running and approved the same day. So literally, it took one day to get that done. I mean, yeah, of course, there's negatives about every company. Everybody, has things that they're going to say. That are not always favorable, and we work to try to overcome those. That's my job. When I was actually bought on, Richard, I was bought on to help with our online reputation and a bunch of other things that the business was struggling with. But like everybody else, we're trying to work to get better. We have some real estate agents that, we've had issues with before, but I would say that in every interaction, it's usually a two-way street, right? It's a lot of agents generally tend to blame the lender, but the lender is at the mercy of the borrower. You know what I mean? So if we're trying to get docs and everything to get closed and the borrower's not cooperating, or we're not able to get the borrower to cooperate getting things done, then obviously that reflects badly on the agents, or the agents, have a tendency to come back and blame the lender. So we try very hard to negate that. And it's one of the things that I train you guys on when I bring you on board, is overcoming that. So we definitely are always looking to do better in that respect. Joshua, not at the present time. There may be in the next 6 months or so. Yes, we do work with Kiona for DPA. We are not yet licensed in Nevada, Carlton. We are actually working on it. Nevada is one of those states that requires a physical building, physical presence there, commercial presence there. So we tried that about 2 years ago. They really dragged their feet. It was really just taking forever to get onboarded with them there. So we are still working on trying to get in Nevada. If you know anybody, or if you're thinking about maybe being a QI out there or something, definitely we'd be willing to talk to you about that situation there and see what we can do. We have one loan officer in Cleveland, and he is generally not always here all the time. So no physical office in Cleveland, and not a lot of loan officers there. So and it's a good market, unfortunately. Do you guys allow dual licensing? By dual licensing, are you talking about real estate and loan officer, Richard? Or are you talking about working for two different lenders? Yeah, no, absolutely we do. Yeah, it's just dependent on the state. Obviously, you cannot be a real estate officer and a real estate agent and a loan officer on FHA. It's FHA or government deals. But as long as the state permits it, we have no problem with it at all. Matter of fact, we have a few people, when I was showing you those single property listings, like Shataya, for example, she does her own real estate deals and then originates her deals as well. So some states it's allowed, some states it's frowned upon, unfortunately. I'm in the process of getting my real estate license here in Florida. So any other questions, folks? I don't believe so. I don't think we have a non-compete with them right now, Joshua. So I wouldn't see any. I wouldn't see any issue there. No, not in all cases. You can, William. You can go to the transition desk, but in a lot of cases, you don't have to do that. Carlton, if you're asking about my number directly, or are you talking about the company number? There's the number. Our total fees a month are $75. That's it, all in. And again, like I said, we don't charge those for the first 90 days. So we give you an opportunity to get up and running and stuff, but that's all inclusive of everything. There are no additional fees, no other costs that we have. And we don't charge you, those are not technology costs and everything. Those are actually honestly compliance costs because we have to QC and run compliance on loans and all of that kind of stuff. So that really just covers the costs of running compliance. We don't charge you out of your, like I said, that's why this is a true, what you see is what you get on the comp. We're not pulling money out of your comp. Now, there is another option that you have on the $75 a month. If you don't want to pay that, what we'll do is we can take out the whole year, which would be like $950, I guess. We can take that all out of your first deal. So then you don't ever have to deal with it again. So we do give you the ability to do that way. So then that way you're not sitting there worrying about, oh my God, in 90 days I'm gonna get charged $75 and I have no deals. So you can always wait and do that as well. Hey, no problem at all, William. Any other questions that you guys have, feel free to reach out to me. My direct email, by the way, is just Andre, A-N-D-R-E, at obsidianmortgage.com. So you guys can go ahead and reach out to me if you have any other questions. Also, I am CC'd on employment at obsidianmortgage.com as well. So if you have questions, I can definitely get to you guys that way. There is no minimum, Abraham. We'd like you to close a loan a month, but if you can't, you can't. We understand some people do this part-time, some people do it full-time. So we have no problem with that again. The email, I'll put it right here again. It's Andre at Obsidian. Or send it to either one of those. I'm CC'd on both. Well, obviously the main one, the first one's my main one, but the employment one I'm CC'd on. So, I'll respond to those. And again, if you want to reach out to ask me any questions directly, you can reach out to me as well. Yes, my direct number. I think it's Let me make sure that's correct. Hang on a second. It might be 587. I don't call myself that often. It's 587. All right. So sorry about that. Sorry, 321. 587. There you go. Yeah, if you guys want them, Carlton, if you want self-replicated websites, you can get them. I myself personally use Lead Pops. It's really cheap, and they give you unlimited sales funnels on those. It's like $75 a month. They build the website for you. The sales funnels drive the traffic. I generally tell people if you're going to do that, be willing to spend about an hour a week on social media just to drive the funnels out there, to post them all over the place. But we can give you a self-replicated website as well. With an Obsidian domain, Carlton Bishop .obsidianmortgage.com or whatever. We could definitely do those for you. I like the Lead Pops ones because, again, they're optimized for SEO and they do a lot of that work, give you mentoring and all that. And we've got a discounted rate with them of $75 a month. So, and you get all that, unlimited funnels and everything. So. Awesome, guys. Well, if there's no other questions, I'll give you the rest of your day back. I really appreciate everybody taking the time to consider partnering with us. We look forward to hearing back from all of you. You have my direct number. If you have any other questions, you can email me or send, or call me, and I'll be more than glad to answer any questions you have, or you can reach out to one of our recruiters via our number, again, 833-450-2338, option 1. For recruiting. I appreciate everybody's time, and y'all have a great long weekend. Enjoy that July 4th holiday.